What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, what moved it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi had a pretty epic day, went up 3.3%, 28.70 the low, 29.87 the high. And I'm going to break it down on what really prompted that. But 52.7 million for volume, 69 is the average. So today was a little bit different for the volume. Even though we did see rather low volume, a lot of that didn't come from institutions, rather algorithmic trading. So no different than earlier than this week, we had the market suppressed through algorithmic trading. This one, we kind of had the market hyped up artificially. So I kind of torn whether that's something to jump up and down over, but nonetheless, what really prompted all of this hype in the broader market was CPI. So CPI came in month over month at 0.3, forecast of 0.4. This is good data. And even if we kind of extend it further and look at it more finite, you can kind of see the energy basket did go up 1.5%, meaning the other basket items went down significantly. So this was phenomenal data. You also did have Michigan consumer sentiment coming in at 53.6, 55 the forecast. S&P Global put out composite manufacturing and services, all better than anticipated. So as a byproduct of this, you had now the market assuming there could be potentially a 50 basis point cut for the December meeting. So I think generally as well, the market was over the last couple of trading days, started to really price in a 25 basis point cut for next week. So we might be going from a 25 to a 50 basis point cut back to back. So that would be massive for the broader market. At the same time, though, you did have some bears really saying that, hey, you know what, 3% is still too high, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like that's what caused some volatility. But for the most part, today was a pretty kick-ass day. No news from SoFi, no SEC filings or anything along those lines. So it was just largely piggybacking off the broader market. But what was so epic about today was shorts. They decided to rubber a massive pole and shove it up themselves because they returned 9.85 million shares. So that in among itself was deserving of a round of applause. And if that isn't telling that they are scared shitless, I don't like to swear too much on my video, so pardon for my French, but this does signal that they are very scared about SoFi's upcoming earnings. That's just how I interpret it. I could be wrong, but aside from that, 8.42% of the free floats being shorted works to be 99.08 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average, a little bit higher than what it has been, so that's 0.59%. Looking at the options, we did see 82 million in calls, 16 million in puts, and then 47% of all the options being done were bullish in nature. Based on the earnings, you do see the implied move of roughly about 10.38%. So that's gone down a little bit over the last couple of trading days. So ultimately a $3 move in either direction is anticipated. And so with today being Friday, just take note of this. So with us closing at 29.01, you do have the 29 and below strike prices in the money. So you have 19,000 at 29, 13,000 at that 28.50, 10,000 at the 28, and so forth and so forth. So this potentially could be a little bit more of a push higher going into next week. Don't really see that much in transactions on the dark pool. So it looks like market makers aren't really going to be covering that today. So most likely that'll be tomorrow. Or going into next week, I guess. But these are some of the transactions that did occur on the dark pool today. So 3.1, 1.6, 1.6, and so forth. So you did see a fair amount of transactions, but like I said, I think all of this doesn't really match with overall volume. So algos was kind of the main cause and culprit, aside from shorts, right? Because shorts made up for a good about, was it 15, 16, 17% of the overall volume today. Looking on the secondary market, these were some of the big ones from today. So 58.2, 14.7, 7.2, and so forth. But still, again, it doesn't really add up to the overall volume. One thing that did come out, and I was actually prepared to do a video today and say, oh my God, this is the first time we haven't had a rating on the week prior to SoFi's earnings in years. But of course, they had to burst my bubble a little bit. So we did have two ratings that did come out. Luckily enough, they were somewhat optimistic. So JP Morgan, Reginald, who has a 55% success rating, gave a 26 hold. Then you have a 29 hold from Truist, and Analyst, who has a 31% success rating. So I guess if you want to be optimistic, this is the first time we haven't had a negative rating 1 week leading into SoFi's earnings. So pretty good stuff as far as that goes. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, with it closing at 29.01, it is between these 2 points, R1 and the pivot. So 29.33, just watch for that to be the next strong target going into next week. So Monday should be a very interesting day. Most likely you'll see a whole new level of FOMO kicking in before their hopefully amazing earnings. So 29.33 and then 30.89 is going to be the following target, potentially, again, dependent on how things do really heat up on the Monday. Aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart itself, today things are looking good, well above that 10-day moving average. You have the stochastic RSI somewhat neutral, so it's not really overbought nor oversold, so kind of level ground there. Not really much coming out associated to news, so it was just more piggybacking off of the broader market. And then as you can kind of see right here from the flow, this again does prove that algos were kind of the main force that was for the volume today. And it wasn't just SoFi, it was happening across the board. So within 1 week, you pretty much have the market being artificially suppressed, and then you have it now artificially being pumped up. So very interesting time that we do live in. As I've mentioned time and time again, if you do believe in SoFi, look at options. And so for instance, if you are very bullish and you feel that it's going to go to, let's say, $40 by throwing out April, for instance, you can make about 37% on the common stock, so 37.88%. But if you buy a long call, you can make, for instance, 92.77%. So this is how you can make some very serious money. So if you do have a lot of conviction, very bullish, you can make tons of money. Or vice versa, if you're bearish, you can also make some money that way as well. Regardless, definitely take the time over the weekend, research options. So I do plan on doing 2 videos this weekend, as I mentioned. One is going to be all about SoFi's earnings, expectations for that, what Wall Street's going to be really paying attention to. And then on the Sunday, I'll be going over some expectations on a larger macro scope. So let me know your viewpoint on SoFi. Did you buy anything? Did you sell? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over and check out that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.